Mr. Nissen, thank you very much once more for your time. I see in your arguments you say that the unit is unlawful because it can actually evict people without getting a court order. How is this possible that they execute these duties without having a paper from court?
Well, good afternoon to you and to all the viewers. A blessed Passover for those who celebrate it. Yes, indeed. First of all, let me say that we need law enforcement agencies. Nobody can break the law and get away with it. So we need law enforcement agencies to make sure that there is a regulation of law and adherence to law in this country. However, when law enforcement agencies themselves act and become unlawful, then it raises concern. As in the case of Xolani, it was made very clear, the judge made it very clear that during lockdown you cannot do that and you have to follow the necessary legal process and get a court order to do so. And therefore we're very concerned and will seek answers from the City of Cape Town as to why they continue to do this in a defiance of a court order.
There's also that question that you raised in the rest of your court papers where you talk about the fact that they are not using what police, for instance, are mandated to use when they are called to deal with land invasion. How was this possible that the City of Cape Town was able to do this so many times, even before the state of emergency, without anybody noticing until what happened, that unfortunate incident with Xolani?
But it's also selective what the city is doing. On the one hand, for example, in Fuleni, I called them some time back and said, these things are happening here. What are you doing about it? They've done absolutely nothing. But when it comes to Atlantis, and then they go in guns blazing and do what they did, and we are still investigating that as well. So the point is, we are saying they must please, as the law enforcement, make sure that they do keep and continue to do law enforcing and enforcing the law. However, they must also respect what the High Court has said. And the High Court is very clear that they need to get a court order for people who are more than 48 hours in a place. And therefore, and also, it's not them that must do it. The sheriff of the court executes any court order and asks South African police services to accompany them. And the sheriff can, and in many cases have asked for other agencies or security companies to accompany him or her to do the execution of the order. But what we've seen is totally unacceptable.
And this also speaks to what some South Africans would say about the DA government, with people saying that the DA government, which governs the Western Cape, is anti-poor. This would actually speak to that point.
No, I would not speak to any government in terms of political parties. Local government, wherever I find myself in the country, I address the local government, and I would say that when the local government does infringe on the rights of the poor, the South African Human Rights Commission will come after them. And indeed, also in the Western Cape, we've engaged. I have tried many times to engage the mayor. We've sent letters to talk to him about how we can engage about talking about these things, but to no avail.
Commissioner, I know that the arguments in court still continue. I just want to know what your application as a South African Human Rights Commission really is. Is it just for the courts to rule that, for instance, the unit should have, they must be mandated to get a court order before evacuating people, or is it that the unit is shut down completely?
We have asked for three things, and we pray to the court for three things. We ask, A, that the city or any local government has got the right to engage in lawful activities to ensure the protection of their properties and their rights. In the case of the City of Cape Town, we said they've got the right to do so. However, we said in the event that there is an illegal or so-called illegal occupation, or whether it's after 48 hours, that any government authority, and include the City of Cape Town, to go to court, obtain a court order, and we support that. And when they obtain the court order, in terms of the Disaster Regulations Management Act, the regulations are very clear. It needs to be done post the lockdown.
Mr. Nissen, I'm not sure if your picture is frozen again. All right, I think that will be it with South African Human Rights Commissioner Chris Nissen.